What if the job you love is quietly being automated? Have you ever sat at your desk, fingers hovering over the keyboard, and wondered, what if this thing I've built my career on is quietly being taken over by lines of machine-generated code? Not next year, not in 10, but right now? Because lately, it feels like every headline is screaming the same thing. AI will replace software engineers. You scroll through LinkedIn, and there it is. Another viral post about how an AI coded a full app in 30 seconds. Another startup bragging about cutting half their dev team thanks to automation. Another comment saying, developers are the next taxi drivers. It's hard not to feel a little uneasy, isn't it? You've put in the years, debugging into the night, wrestling with legacy code, making trade-offs no algorithm could understand. This wasn't just about code, it was about solving problems that mattered, building things that last. And now, it's like there's this quiet pressure whispering, you're next. But what if that's not the whole picture? What if the rise of AI isn't the end of our story, but just the beginning of a new chapter? Because beneath the hype and the fear, something else is happening. Something more human, more exciting, more empowering. And in the next few minutes, we're going to explore that story. Let's start where it matters most. What AI can actually do today. And more importantly, what it can't. Here's the thing. Before we talk about the future, we've got to be honest about the present. Have you seen what today's AI can already do? It's not science fiction anymore. It's very real, and it's already on your screen. Imagine this. You're stuck on a piece of boilerplate code you've written a dozen times before. You sigh, open your terminal, and right there, GitHub Copilot auto-suggests the entire function before you even finish typing the comment. And it's not just Copilot. Tools like Tabnine and Replit Ghostwriter are stepping in as the ultimate autocomplete sidekicks, spitting out code snippets, unit tests, even documentation. I know engineers who've shaved hours off their sprints because these tools caught bugs before the compiler did. One friend of mine, lead dev at a fintech startup, uses Ghostwriter to scaffold MVPs in record time. It's like pair programming, but your partner never sleeps. And that's the key point here. AI is becoming less of a futuristic idea and more of a very practical assistant. It doesn't ask for lunch breaks. It doesn't get annoyed when you ask the same question 3 times. It just helps. But let's be clear, this kind of help is limited. These tools excel at patterns. They shine at repetitive logic, autocomplete, and even spotting basic logic gaps. But when you're building out the architecture for a scalable system, when you're translating a vague business idea into a real product flow, AI's not there yet. It doesn't know your product's users. It doesn't sit in strategy meetings. It doesn't feel the weight of decisions when trade-offs are messy and human. Personally, I love using AI for the boring bits. It makes my workflow cleaner, my mind lighter. But when it comes to decisions that involve nuance, intuition, or empathy, that's still our job. And maybe that's the real power of it. Not that AI replaces us, but that it frees us up. Frees us to focus on the harder, more meaningful work. The kind of work we actually care about. So yes, AI is changing how we write code, but no, it's not taking the keyboard from your hands. Now that we've looked at what AI can do, let's explore what it can't, and why that's exactly where we still matter most. Let me ask you this. Have you ever worked on a project where the real challenge wasn't the code, but the people? You know what I mean. The messy meetings, the half-baked requirements, the back and forth with stakeholders who say one thing but really mean another. Now imagine giving all that to an AI and expecting it to figure it out. Here's the truth. AI doesn't understand context the way we do. It doesn't read between the lines. It doesn't pick up on subtle signals in a Zoom call. It doesn't say, hey, something about this feels off. That's the human advantage. AI might be able to finish your function, but it can't sit in a kickoff call and ask the hard questions. What's the real goal here? Who's the user? What are we not thinking about yet? I've seen this firsthand. A team I worked with once let an AI-generated module slip into production. Looked fine on paper, ran fine in the test environment, but the logic had misunderstood a core assumption about how users interacted with the app. It broke things. Not in a catastrophic way, but in the kind of way that hurts trust. It caused confusion, frustration, and a lot of unexpected customer support tickets. Why? Because the AI didn't ask the right questions. It didn't sense that something didn't quite fit. It didn't challenge the spec. And honestly, that's something I've learned to value more and more. Our ability to see the bigger picture. AI doesn't have judgment. It doesn't have empathy. It doesn't know what makes a user experience feel right or what trade-offs make sense in a specific context. Great engineers don't just code. They design, negotiate, listen, guide. They see the tension between business goals and user needs, and they make choices that reflect both. This is where we still shine. And in a world where AI can write faster, suggest more, and automate the basics, that deep human judgment is more important than ever. So as we move forward, the question isn't, can AI write code? It's, can AI replace the wisdom behind great software? And the answer is still no. Now, let's talk about how AI is reshaping engineering. Not by replacing us, but by redefining how we work and what skills will matter most. Here's something you probably know deep down, but might not hear enough. Writing code is just one part of being a great software engineer. And honestly, it's often not even the most important part. Think about the last time you built something complex. Sure, there was coding, but before you ever opened your IDE, you probably spent hours designing the system, talking through edge cases, weighing trade-offs. That's the real work. I remember a senior engineer I once worked with, quiet guy, not flashy, didn't write the most code. But when things got messy, when the deadline was tight and the requirements were changing daily, he was the one who stepped up. He didn't just code, he clarified priorities with the product team. He mentored junior devs who were stuck. He made hard architectural calls that saved us weeks of future pain. That's what engineering actually is. It's system design. It's problem solving under constraints. It's knowing when to say, let's ship now and refactor later, versus, we need to slow down or this will bite us in 6 months. You can't automate that. That kind of decision-making comes from experience, from failure, from hundreds of late nights and we should have done it differently retros. And mentoring? That's another piece of the puzzle we don't talk about enough. Some of the most impactful engineers I've ever worked with didn't write the most brilliant code. They lifted up the people around them. They helped junior teammates understand not just how something worked, but why it mattered. They caught potential bugs during pull requests, not to nitpick, but to teach. That's not something you can plug into a chatbot. It's human. It's relational. It's built on trust. And let's not forget alignment with the business. Great engineers know how to speak both languages, the technical and the strategic. They help leadership make better product decisions, translating goals into scalable solutions and vice versa. So yes, AI might make us faster in some areas, but the core of what we do, the judgment, the mentorship, the messy alignment work, that's still us. And if anything, as automation increases, our ability to do those things becomes even more valuable. So where does this leave us? Right at the edge of something exciting. An evolution, not of replacement, but of redefinition. Let's explore what that new era of engineering might look like, and the roles that are beginning to emerge because of AI, not in spite of it. Here's a question that might be sitting in the back of your mind. Okay, but what jobs are actually at risk? That's a fair and important question. Because while it's true that AI isn't coming for all our jobs, it is changing the playing field. And pretending otherwise doesn't help anyone. Let's talk honestly. The roles most at risk aren't the ones that require deep architectural thinking or stakeholder negotiation. It's the ones that are highly repetitive, heavily pattern-based, and low in complexity. Think about basic quality assurance testing. Things like checking if a button still works, or if a form submits correctly. That used to be done manually by junior QA engineers. Now, AI-powered test suites like Testim or Mabel are doing that in a fraction of the time. Or those entry-level jobs that focus mainly on CRUD: create, read, update, delete. When the majority of your role is setting up standard forms and API connections, tools like Replit Ghostwriter or even low-code platforms are starting to do it faster, and sometimes better. It's not about fear-mongering, it's about awareness. Even I've felt that twinge of discomfort, looking at a task and realizing, yeah, a script could have done this. But here's the shift. That's not the end, it's the beginning. Because here's the truth. Automation doesn't just remove jobs, it reshapes them. And the people who adapt, who learn how to partner with AI rather than compete against it, those are the ones who thrive. So how do you stay out of the replaceable zone? You lean into what makes you irreplaceable. That means focusing on high-impact thinking, system design, product intuition, cross-functional communication. It means getting better at asking the right questions, not just delivering the right answers. It means becoming the kind of engineer who can guide others, who can bring clarity in chaos, who can lead, not just code. And honestly, it means staying curious. The folks who are learning how to use tools like Copilot, not just passively but actively, who tweak the suggestions, build smarter prompts, and double-check outputs, those people are turning AI into their leverage, not their threat. I've seen junior devs move up faster than expected, not because they were geniuses, but because they were proactive. They didn't wait for someone to tell them what was changing. They leaned into it. So yes, some roles will fade, but new doors are opening. And in the next part, we'll explore what those new roles actually look like, and how you can position yourself to step into them with confidence. Here's something exciting you might not have heard much about. What if AI isn't just taking roles, but creating entirely new ones? Yes, while some traditional jobs are shrinking, brand new roles are popping up, and fast. We're witnessing the rise of a new kind of engineer. Let's call them the AI-first engineers. These aren't your typical coders. They're the ones who know how to leverage AI as a teammate, not just a tool. They know how to think with machines, not just around them. Take AI prompt engineers, for example. It may sound made up, but companies are actually hiring people specifically for this. Why? Because crafting prompts that guide AI to deliver accurate, useful, and ethical results is a real skill. It's not about writing a line of code. It's about understanding human intention and machine logic and bridging that gap. Or consider human-AI collaborators, folks who work side by side with AI in fields like legal tech, medical diagnostics, or even content production. They don't just monitor what AI outputs, they shape it, refine it, and take it to the next level. I met someone recently who used ChatGPT to generate thousands of contract variations and then personally curated them for tone and compliance. That job didn't even exist 2 years ago. And then you have tool integrators, the ones who connect all the dots. They're not just using GitHub Copilot to autocomplete a function. They're building workflows that combine multiple AI systems, APIs, and platforms to make teams faster, leaner, and smarter. Now here's what all of these roles have in common. They require people who are learning continuously, because the tech isn't slowing down. What works today may feel outdated next year. But if you treat learning not as a chore, but as your edge, then you stay relevant, no matter what changes. And honestly, that's something I've had to embrace myself. The first time I saw a language model finish a paragraph I was writing, I felt two things at once. awe and insecurity. But then I realized this isn't competition, it's collaboration. And the more I leaned into it, the more confident I felt navigating the unknown. So yes, this is a new chapter, but it's not the end of yours. It's just a reminder that the best engineers don't just write great code, they build great relationships with people, and now with AI. And in the next part, we'll wrap up by talking about what all of this means for your future, and how to move forward with clarity, confidence, and curiosity. Here's a question worth asking yourself today, not 5 years from now. What are you doing to future-proof your career right now? The good news is you don't need to become an AI expert overnight. You don't need to memorize every new tool or framework. But you do need to double down on something AI can't replace: you. Let's break that down. First, creativity. I don't just mean artistic talent. I mean the ability to think laterally, to combine ideas in novel ways, to solve problems no one's fully defined yet. AI can follow rules. It can even suggest new patterns. But the spark that connects an insight to real human needs, that's still yours to bring. Whether you're designing a product or troubleshooting a weird bug, that spark matters. Next, let's talk about product sense. That's your ability to understand not just how something works, but why it matters. What does the user actually need? What trade-offs are worth making? AI can generate 10 versions of a button, but you're the one who decides which one aligns with the user journey, the brand voice, and the business goal. That's judgment. That's value. And don't sleep on communication. Whether you're collaborating with a team, presenting to stakeholders, or just mentoring a junior dev, your ability to clearly articulate ideas makes everything else possible. Even when using AI tools like ChatGPT or Copilot, the quality of the input, your prompt, your context, your intentions, shapes the quality of the output. In that way, communication becomes a superpower, not a soft skill. Now, here's something I've found personally helpful. Start integrating AI tools into your daily workflow, not just as a novelty, but as a partner. Use GitHub Copilot not to replace your coding, but to accelerate boilerplate. Use ChatGPT to brainstorm features or summarize docs. Treat AI like a co-pilot, not a threat. The more familiar you get, the more confident you'll feel in leading the direction instead of reacting to it. If you're looking for areas to upskill, here's what I'd prioritize. System design, to think bigger than functions and loops. UX and product strategy, to build things that actually get used. Leadership and collaboration, because in a fast-changing world, people skills matter more, not less. And finally, AI literacy. Even if you're not building the models, understanding how they work helps you wield them responsibly and effectively. At the end of the day, your most valuable asset isn't what you know, it's how you adapt. And if you're watching this, you're already doing the most important thing: staying curious. Now let's wrap this up with one final important truth. Because beyond the hype and the headlines, there's something deeper we all need to hear. So here we are, at the final point of our journey together. Let's quickly recap everything we've discussed today. AI is not a force that's here to replace us. It's here to help us level up. It's a tool, a co-pilot, a partner in the work we already do. But here's the catch. It only works for you if you evolve alongside it. Invest in your creativity, enhance your communication, and develop that business acumen. Use AI as an asset to increase your value, not just in coding, but in shaping how technology and products are built for real people. And remember, always stay curious and adaptable. Now, I want to leave you with this reflective question. Will you evolve or be replaced? The choice is really yours. The tools are in front of you, and the path forward is yours to create. It's all about mindset, embracing change instead of fearing it. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a fellow engineer who might benefit from this. We're in this together. Let's shape the future and build a career that thrives in the age of AI. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.